So, hello. My name is Cynthia Mason. I'm coming going to make this recording for teachers, teachers, individuals or people who actually educate children or people of any kind. So, with this message, I'm coming to say that um that's so funny because it's like I'm having a brain fart in the process of me trying to record this video, which is insanity. Um, hold on, let me get my train of thought. uh, it's going to come to me. Uh, being a teacher is not light work. Being a teacher is extremely difficult. And it is difficult because you have to be able to remember what it's like to be a kid yourself. You have to be able to tap into that mindset or that energy of the group of children in which you are working with. So a lot of times when us as educators are working with children, we have to be mindful that that child or children in which we're working with, we have to remember what age they are, what their developmental process is at that time. What were you going through in your life at that time? Because a lot of times working around kids, they also trigger you in areas of your life where you need to grow, evolve, and change. It is not an easy job to be an educator because an educator is extremely reflective. An educator is a mirror. An educator acts as a mentor or a model, a role model to those or other individuals in which he or she comes into contact with. So with that being said, an educator wears many hats, meaning educators also walking in many pathways and many or working or walking at many capacities than others. Meaning we have a lot of tabs that are open, just like on the computer, you have all these different tabs open and you're doing all these 50,011 things and you're able to jump between the different tabs and figure out, what's going over here and what's going over there. When you're working with children, it's the same concept, the same thing, because each child has his own individual mindset, his own individual um perspective, personality, energy, the whole nine. So you have to know how to be able to adapt and unify those groups of children because educators work with groups of children at a time. It could be anywhere between 10 to 15 to 20 kids, sometimes 30 kids in the classroom at a time or more because I've seen some classes that have 35, 36 kids in it. So with that being said, you have to be able to mesh those energies and mesh those mindsets together and put them on one accord so that you can actually accomplish a set goal for that whole group of individuals. And that is not an easy job or easy task. That's like working with a bunch of adults and managing those adults. Those same adults that you're working with, it could be like when you're a supervisor or a manager, you might work with people who have like discontented attitudes and just, disruptive attitudes and just disruptive mindsets or just disruptive energies or just what you name it. Your coworkers are like kids. Adults are like bigger kids, grown up kids, or people who have not dealt with or managed certain emotions or been able to kind of like express themselves a certain way. Now, that's not to say that all of us are the same way because some of us are actually able to manage and cope and are well rounded individuals who are considerate and compassionate and think of others around them. You get what I'm saying? So it's so many different facets of it or ideologies of it because you got to think about it when you was in high school. It's the same thing. You're literally going through stages of life. And if you can remember what stages were when you were going through those stages of life and you can understand the development and the growth process of yourself and that in the comparison of the other individuals which you come into contact with, then you are able to kind of grasp what it's like to be a teacher. But not just a teacher, a human being. And realistically, we are all teachers. We are all educators. We all, as human beings, educate each other, whether we realize it or pay attention to it or not, or whether we're cognizant or aware or conscious of it or not. And so I wanted to say this much because I wanted to bring it to the forefront that people need to remember what it's like to be a kid. Remember what it was like when you were a kid. Remember what it was like when you were going through your life and going through your journey. And then take in consideration the lives and journeys of their friends and or people or individuals or people that have crossed your paths and walks in life that you have come into contact with. And play your record back. Play your tape back and recognize and realize where you have fallen short or where you need to grow, evolve, change, or develop, and where they have grown, evolved, changed, or developed, because your journey is not their journey. However, something that they have done in their journey, and the reason why they crossed your path at some point in time, is teaching you something about yourself too. And sometimes it might not be necessarily teaching you, but it may also in fact be teaching them. Like, you may be the prevalent or pertinent part of their journey without even realizing that you are that thing. And so I kind of want to relate this message back to what one of the messages I said in a previous video a while back, when I was talking about being a lighthouse, and I got into it with one of my coworkers. And I love this woman. I swear, she's just an angel. And you can tell that she's been through things. You can tell that she's gone through walks of life. And when she told me, she said, sometimes you don't realize that you yourself are the lighthouse. And so she told me I was a lighthouse for her. And I was just like, what? You a lighthouse for me? I see you as a lighthouse to me. And she broke it down for me, but the way that she broke it down was so immaculate. And it was just like, I never would have put it in that concept, that mindset of being a lighthouse. Because my whole thing was, you helped me see something in myself that I didn't pay attention to, or something that I was exuding that I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to put the energy out there. However, at the same time, you gonna feel what I'm feeling, because at the same time, I need to understand, like, you cross a line with me. You cross that boundary with me. And like she said, she recognized and realized where she herself had fallen short. Because I was kind of short and quick and to the point. Like, look, I felt some kind of way about what she did, and I voiced how I felt about what she did. But she also made it a point to voice how what I said made her feel, and how it brought light to a situation early in her life where she needed to grow, evolve, and change. Because I didn't realize that I had come off her in that way. I mean, I did. I ain't gonna lie. I did. However, I didn't realize the impact of it. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, you gotta realize your actions. For every action has a reaction, so your actions also affect the actions of others. And the job and the weight of a teacher, like a professional teacher, a person that actually has gone to school to learn how to become a teacher, meaning like a person that's gone to school to learn how to teach information to other people. They are taught how to process the brain, how the mind thinks. Now, what I've learned about teachers and going through the pathway of an actual teacher, like if you go to actual college and school to become a teacher, what they do, not only do they teach you the material or the content, they teach you the foundational skills of how to teach that content as well. Meaning, you are going to college or going to school to learn a content, however, also learn how to recapitulate that content to somebody else. And do it in a manner in which or a way in which that whoever you come across actually will grasp it. So to be a teacher or an educator is not an easy feat. And I don't think people really fully understand the where my knees, hold on, the weight. I don't think people understand the weight or the value of what a person goes through when they go to school to become an actual educator or become an actual teacher. And so it's like, that's not an easy feat. It's not. And it's not a task that a lot of people want to take on, because when you think about all of the things that educators or teachers go through, it's just like, bro, what's the point of this? Like, what y'all do? What y'all do with this? Being a teacher's like being a damn a correctional officer. Like, you literally have like inmates in a sense. And it's so sad to like compare education to that capacity or a facet. But when you think about like the whole quote unquote um school to jail pipeline, it kind of walks hand in hand. I've seen videos and I've seen like snippets of where school is just like that. Like, when you're in school, you gotta walk in line. When you're in class, you gotta sit and be quiet. You have to wear a uniform. You have to eat at a certain time every day. You get to go outside every certain time every day. Like, you have structure, you have routine. But in a jail, it's the same thing. It's still structured routine, with the exception of your freedom and your liberties are taken away from you. And the same thing in school. Your freedoms and liberties are taken away from you to a degree, because you're still able or allowed to be your own individual self. And see, in school, kids don't fully grasp that concept, because it's like, well, I gotta do this and why I gotta do that, and I have to sit in the classroom all day, and I gotta listen to the teacher talk to me all day, and I don't want to hear what the hell this person gotta say, or this material is boring, or I don't want to be here. I want to go home and play my damn video game. I want to go home and chill and relax. Like what is life? This is not this is not what life is supposed to be. I'm used to being able to like go outside and play with my little friends and watch TV all day and lounge around the lane and just have no real responsibilities or cares in the world. And then you have to go from being this free spirited little being or individual to having to be structured and organized and content and being in this cycle, which is not cool. Now, a true educator, give me 1 second. Sorry, because my little knees, baby. Ooh, oh, the Anna came on my bowl. I thought I had more in my bowl than this. That's okay. We gonna work with what we got, baby. You sure? Um, sorry. What was I saying? As a kid, you have more freedoms and more liberties to do what you want to do, and that is before you become institutionalized when you have to go to school and get your education. Now, a good educator, a good teacher, will actually expand on that child's horizons. Meaning, a good educator has the ability to be able to assess a student or assess a child and see exactly what he or she needs in order for them to grow, evolve, and change, or build pathways to be a better version or better suited individual for society, I guess you could say, without and without imposing so much on the child that they are in essence taking away from that child's personal identity or taking away from that child's expansiveness in terms of creativity. Like you want a child or a student to be as expressive and creative as possible, especially when you work with lower grades or younger children. You know what I'm saying? Like when you work with older people, they kind of already have their mindset set up, their personality already kind of set in a certain way. So it's a little bit more difficult to work with older adults because they're not as malleable as little kids. Little kids are more malleable and their minds are more malleable, meaning you're able to mold their mindsets and their minds in a way where you can teach them to be productive. You can teach them to be structured and organized. You can teach them to be critical thinkers. You can teach them to be, just phenomenal. Like see their actual greatness and see what they actually have to offer into the world. Now, not all people that get into the profession of education should be there. Let's just be real. And then some educators are too passionate because they're too into it. Like I've been guilty of that, being so into it that I kind of lost the boundary of wait, this is the profession, this is my job, and this is my purpose. So it's like, okay, wait a minute, I have to differentiate that a little bit. And it's difficult because I'm the type of person like once I come into contact with a child and I interact with a child and I get to know a child, I love that child. That's my baby. I'm gonna rock with that baby. I'm gonna look out for the baby. I'm gonna make sure the baby's good. I'm gonna advocate for that baby. I'm gonna push that baby. I'm gonna play with that baby. I'm gonna talk to the baby. I'm gonna do whatever I can to help change that baby's life. And in the positive. And if that means I gotta give out hugs and woo woo woos and boo boo boos and be that baby's mom or be that individual, that person, that being that actually shows some consistency or some love or a little bit of tough love or tenderness or care to that kid, then that's what I'm gonna do. My problem is that I am learning is that I have to establish a boundary because sometimes I get too personal and I don't need to be as personal. I don't need to be that deep into your life. I don't need to be so deep into your life that I'm so enthralled in your life that I'm losing track of what I gotta do for me and mine. And as an educator, I've learned that in the last couple of years of me teaching that I have to do that. I have to, you know, put some boundaries in there. And it's not an easy feat. It's not easy, but it's also like I'm learning too to have a little bit more compassion for these kids that are coming along because these newer kids that are coming along, they are definitely different from the kids that I've already taught, and they are so far more either advanced or behind than than the group that has just matriculated on. And it's insane. And I'm just like, what is this? Like, is it like what is really happening to our what is happening to our mentality as a people, as a person, as a nation? What is really happening to our tenacity and our growth and our evolvement and our change and our passions and our purposes and why we're doing things? What's happening to our values? What's happening to our traditions? Because I will honestly say this year is definitely challenging me to look at things a totally different way because I really want these kids to learn. We have to do a better job as educators, and not just as educators, but as people, as parents, as a society, to actually work together to understand and realize that our children are our future. Like that song says, I believe the children are our future. Show the world and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. That's real. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Yes. They have to have a sense of pride. They have to understand who they are, where they are, where they coming from, and why they're doing what they're doing. They have to understand what their purpose is. And it is our job as individuals or beings that have been here before, or individual beings that have been walking around for umpteen years or whatever it can be. It's our job to be there and show up for them in their lives as parents. And like I tell people all the time, it takes a village. And that is real talk. That is Ubuntu. I hope I'm saying it right. Ubuntu. Ubuntu. I'm probably saying it right. Ubuntu. I'm hearing Ubuntu. But that whole mindset is teach one. We all can help each other if we stick together and we work together and we recognize where each other is falling short. And instead of us talking about them negatively and putting them down or gossiping about where they've fallen short, we should be helping them. We shouldn't be passing judgment on them because we don't want people to pass judgment on us. We should be treating them with kindness and care and courtesy despite what's going on the outside. We should be looking at what's on the inside and where they need help. We should be praying for them. We should be reaching out to them. We should be understanding that we are a nation. Like I know it says one nation under God, the Republic of America, whatever. Just as a race of people, of human beings, of living things, we should have common courtesy for each other. Just in general. Period. Because it's like, how can you not love and respect a living thing? You want somebody to love and respect you. So how can you not love and respect something else that is living, thriving, and also walking this earth? It's a level of respect you have to have. And it's crazy because I've been teaching this to my students this last month or so about respecting the space. What does it really mean to respect the space? Let's really break it down. How do we respect the space? First and foremost, you got to understand that you got to respect you. Who are you? Why are you important? Who, like, what makes you so special to be who you are? Okay. So, and why should I respect that version of you? Why should I acknowledge that version of you? And it's like when you ask those questions, it's like, okay, wait a minute, how you questioning me? A lot of you, if you in the right space, like, I am who I am. I'm a person. I'm a human being. My name is, as most people call me, Banks. I'm not Banks no more. May. I am Miss May. And it's like when you work with kids, and or not even just kids, because people like human adults are just big ass kids. I'm sorry, I'm just giving it a bean. Adults are big ass kids. A lot of them are. They have not grown up. They have not evolved. Some of them are still stuck and traumatized at some point in stage in their lives, and they have not grown past it, or they have not learned how to evolve out of where they actually are. We are always or and forever going to be kids experiencing life. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care how many years or ages how many years or ages or age, whatever, how many years you gain, whatever. Even with the maturity, you're still a kid at heart, or at least you should be. You should be. You should be in tune with that childlike version of yourself. You should be in tune with that kid version of you, that part of you when you first came into true conscious awareness of yourself, true conscious understanding of yourself. You should be in tune with that. You should be aware of that. You should be so like connected to that and that version of you. You should be connected to you, the true you. And it's like when you're able to do that, you're able to understand and recognize your worth, who you are, your greatness. Recognize your greatness. And we recognize your greatness and you honor your greatness and you respect your greatness. That means you hold space for your greatness. That means you're not going to let anybody do to you what you yourself won't do to you. And that means you're going to give to others what you will also give to yourself. And when you grasp and understand that concept and you're able to do that, then you're getting somewhere. Then you're recognizing, oh, wait a minute, I'm growing up. I'm maturing. I'm actually moving, I'm progressing, I'm manifesting in the right direction. And that's what you want to do. You want to manifest in the right direction. I just wanted to make it known though that it is not an easy job to be an educator. It's not an easy feat, and you have to recognize your purpose in this life, your purpose in this world, and recognize and know that your presence matters. Your presence makes a difference, and it makes as much a difference as you make a difference. Meaning, as much as you make yourself important to you. Everybody that comes across your path for a reason, and you cross that path for a reason. Like I like to always quote the scripture, like I knew you as you was knit in the womb. I knew everything you was gonna do before you do it, and it's the truth. You know you so much, or you should know you, and be in tune with you so much so that you know exactly what you're gonna do and how you feel on the inside, and you're not gonna let anybody or anything deter you from being truly, honestly you. Take the mask off. Stop pretending. Like be be your true self at all times, and be okay with being you. Be okay with being you, and don't get caught in the trap of comparison. And I gotta say a prayer for my friend. My friend came. A friend of mine said to me today, "Stop comparing yourself to other people." Whew. I was like, I don't compare myself to nobody. Pause. Yes, I did. And I was like, I didn't realize it. Sometimes we're so wrapped up and caught up in our habits and our behaviors that we lose track of who we really are. So recognize that too. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. For what? The only time you should be comparing yourself is when you are seeking to grow, evolve, and be better as a form I'll say a form or platform of motivation or drive of motivation. Okay, like or what is that? A source of motivation in a sense. Because if you see somebody that's doing something a little bit better than you, instead of being envious and jealous of them, use that as motivation to push you to want to be better than that. Oh yeah, let me conquer what you. Let me do that better than what you doing. I like the way you doing it, but I know I can do it this way, and I know if I do it this way, it's gonna come out how I need to come out. You know what I'm saying? Use that motivation to do it for yourself, not this. Not that I want to do. I want to do the same thing somebody else do. I want to do my own thing. I just want to do it better. So use it in that sense of it being motivation, not in the sense that well they're doing it that way and it looks better than mine. So what's to say that looks better than yours? You're judging that. Change your perspective. Don't look at yourself or judge your work or equate your work to be, mediocre because you're not. Nothing you do is mediocre, even though you might feel like it's mediocre. Nobody can do you better than you. Nobody. So do you and be you at all times. Mm. And I feel like with that being said, that's my message for today. But yeah, know that being an educator is a great thing. Recognize your role in life. Recognize your role in life. And understand and know that your role in life is important, whether you see it or not. Recognize your imprint. What are you leaving behind? What's your legacy gonna be? What's your purpose? What are you leaving for your kids to follow if you have kids? Because you might even have kids. But recognize your presence in someone else's space and your presence in their life. And when you come across situations where you realize your presence is not impactful, change it. And don't change it for the worse. Change it for the better. Change it for the better. Push. Push to be better. I challenge you. Do one good thing for yourself. And not in a selfish way where I'm just gonna do it myself just because. No. Challenge yourself to do one great thing for yourself in the sense that that great thing benefits somebody else. So if that means changing your demeanor, changing your response, changing your energy, changing your speech, changing your mindset, changing your did I say behavior? Your perspective. Change one thing about how you show up in the world and just see what happens. See what happens. See who notices it. See who notices, who acknowledges it. And that those persons that acknowledge it for the good, keepers. And those persons that be like, oh, they give you some slack, let them people go. Real talk. Let them people go. Because those people are not worth your time, effort, or energy. 25, 25. They're not worth your time, effort, and energy. And don't exude your time, effort, and energy towards things that do not matter. It's a waste. It's a distraction. Like, rebuke the spirit of distraction. I rebuke the spirit of distraction from my energy, from my space, my mind, my heart, my soul. And I rebuke the spirit of procrastination because distractions just, they bore and rot, and they fester, and they open the door for procrastination and stagnancy. I rebuke stagnancy. Let it go. You don't owe anybody anything. The only person you owe something to is yourself. And that's not a negative thing or a selfish thing. Because the thing is, once you start to work on you and heal you, everything else falls in line. It falls in line. You want better, you gotta do better. And I've heard that. Be a go getter. And that's so much just for today. And I pray and I hope that this message reaches people in a positive light. I say, man, I'm gonna say. Peace.